Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing an exciting comparison. Our topic today is going to be the book and the movie of The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games was a very big hit both in the book and the movie version, so I'm really excited to compare the similarities and differences and talk about each one with you today. And I also have an interview about someone else's opinion about the book and the movie too. The book was published in 2008 by author Suzanne Collins. This book is, The Hunger Games is the first book in her Hunger Games trilogy. There are also two following books. This book's main plot, it centralizes on the main character Katniss Everdeen, and she sacrifices herself as tribute in her sister's place to go to the Hunger Games at the Capitol, where she will fight for her life against 11 other tributes from different districts. As of 2014, more than 28 million copies of this book was sold in the US alone. So Suzanne Collins wrote a great hit, and it really sold throughout the US very quickly. The movie was made just a few short years later in 2012. It has many famous actors and actresses. The main character is played, of course, by Jennifer Lawrence, as you can see on the cover here. She plays Katniss Everdeen. You can even see her holding the bow. And it has other actors in it, such as Woody Harrelson and Liam Hemsworth, who plays in the movie as well. An interesting fact about this movie is that parts of this movie was filmed in North Carolina, which is really cool. You can see bits of our home state here, or my home state here, in this movie. So first, the similarities. The plot is still the same. You see Katniss sacrificing herself for her sister. It evokes that emotional response both in the book and the movie. You see Peeta getting selected as another tribute. You see them going to the Capitol. You see them battling it out in the Hunger Games. It ends the same, where Peeta and Katniss both survive together and both go back home. So the movie does a good job in following along in the plot line of the book. As I said earlier, you see that same sacrificial response from Katniss when they are selecting the tributes for her district. Her sister Primrose is selected, and upon Prim's shock and walking towards the stage, Katniss is emotionally overcome, and she volunteers herself to go into Prim's place. And it kind of sets her status as a celebrity because this has never happened for her before, so she gets a lot of news coverage because of her sacrificial response for her sister. You also see that same love triangle that they formed in the book between Katniss, Peeta, and Gale. You see Katniss completely oblivious to both Gale and Peeta's love interest in her. You do see that love triangle formed, and you see both Peeta and Gale's response towards Katniss throughout the film and the book. So whereas there were a lot of main similarities, there were quite a few differences in the book and the movie as well. The book was more interesting in the way that they gave you more information about the other districts. In the movie, they're just fairly quickly and briefly mentioned. In the book, it goes into a little bit more detail. It talks about how a certain district has a certain main industry. Another interesting thing about the book and the movie is the way that Katniss acquires her Mockingjay pen, which becomes the symbol of the Hunger Games. You can even see it's on both the cover of the book and the movie. The Mockingjay pen is right here on the book, and it's right here in the center of the logo on the movie. So it becomes very important. It becomes the central focal point of the Hunger Games, and it carries on throughout the two sequels as well. In the book, she is given this pen by Madge, whose character is not even present in the movie. Madge sees her as a somewhat friend, and she gives this pen to Katniss as a gift before she goes off to the Hunger Games. In the movie, she sees this pen and she likes it, and she buys it for Prim, and she ends up giving it to Prim. And before she goes to the Hunger Games, Primrose gives this pen back to Katniss, and that is what Katniss therefore wears when she goes out into the Hunger Games, as the symbol of her district. Another difference is Haymitch's entrance in both the book and the movie. In the movie, you do not see him until they get on the train and are on their way to the Hunger Games. In the book, you see him at the ceremony. He's drunk, he's not acting right. He ends up falling off the stage drunk. So you get that really hesitant, crazy first impression of him in the book, whereas in the movie you immediately see him on the train and he's more business-like, more factual. You don't see that immediately drunken side of him at first. Another difference in the book and the movie is in the book she recognizes this red-haired Avox at the Capitol who ends up being one of the people who serves her, and that red-headed Avox turns into some kind of symbol for her because she saw her trying to escape and she saw her being recaptured as well. But in the movie, this Avox that she recognizes is completely non-existent. They did not bring that forth into the movie, so her character is just not in the movie whatsoever. Another difference that really bothered me was in the book, after Rue died, District 11 sent the gift of bread, which was what their district was known for, as a gift to Katniss in the Hunger Games, as it was symbolic as a thank you for seeing over Rue, taking care of her, and then doing good for her after she was killed. In the movie, you don't see that whatsoever, and I really wish they had put that into the movie because it was just such a huge symbolic gesture to me. It evoked a very emotional response to the book, especially for me, because Rue had just died, and then they're giving her this thank you for taking care of her, and it just did not happen in the movie. One last huge difference between the book and the movie is after the Hunger Games, when Katniss and Peeta are taken back to the Capitol and they're healed. In the movie, they're completely healed. Afterwards, you can't even tell that they were harmed in the Hunger Games. In the book, Peeta loses his leg. His leg is completely amputated and they have to give him a somewhat prosthetic leg. I was completely blown away. I had watched the movie before I read the book, and so I was completely unaware that Peeta was not supposed to have his leg. So when I read the book, I was completely shocked when they talked about Peeta having to have his leg amputated. I had to go back and reread it just to make sure I was reading it correctly. So I don't understand why they left that out, but that did not happen in the movie. He ended up coming out of the Hunger Games completely whole. All right, now that you have heard everything that I've had to say and my opinion on the similarities and differences, now I'm going to have an interview for you, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today I have Holly with me, who's going to interview for the book The Hunger Games and the movie. Thank you for agreeing to do an interview with me, Holly. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the book and the movie, and I just want to get your opinion on how you liked both. Okay, so for your first question, was there a scene that was in the book not present in the movie that you really thought should have been in the movie, and why?
Yes, in the book they talked about how Peeta lost his leg while they were in the arena, and in the movie they did not show that at all. I think that they should have shown his amputation because it shows the struggle that they went through in the arena.
In the movie, it made it seem like the Capitol was this big magic wand that would just heal everybody, but in the book it showed the more human side of the districts where Peeta lost his leg, and I did not like that change that was in the movie. Okay, for your second question, everybody of course was amazed in both the book and the movie just by the description of the Hunger Games. Which one did you think impacted you more, reading about it in the book or seeing the action in the movie?
I think reading about it in the book impacted me more because the movie only had a PG-13 rating, so there was a lot of things that they couldn't include, a lot of violence, and that impacted me more reading it when they didn't show it in the movie at all.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think the movie did a great job, I think, showing certain aspects of it, but I just don't think it even touched the book. The book has so much more detail in it, had so many other different scenes that was not present in the movie, and although I think the movie did a good job, I don't think it covered quite as much as the book did. So Holly, overall, which do you think was better, the book or the movie?
I thought the book was better for the reasons you stated, but the movie was also great. A lot of people won't read it, and it was a story that was good to be told.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your time and all of your opinions. Thank you for interviewing with me again.
You're welcome.
All right, so as for the book or the movie, I would definitely have to say that I myself enjoy the book better. I think it has a whole lot more in it that the movie left out. I think the movie was really good, and I really think everybody should watch it, but the book was definitely better. There was a lot more pieces into the book that you don't see in the movie. I think it goes into a better description. It just gives you a whole lot more that the movie does not. It was an excellent read. I really hope everybody goes and reads it. If you have not, if you have read it, try out the movie. The movie was really good as well, and it did a fairly good job of going along with the book, and I recommend both. But I definitely have to say that the book has surpassed the movie in this case. All right, what did you guys think? Did you like the book? Did you like the movie? Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys next time when we will be talking about The Cat in the Hat. And remember, may the odds be ever in your favor.